are some eyes that I did for kind of a no progression, I guess. So next up, I personally don't actually like this painting, but there's a water painting of a kind of gargoyle thing. Not really sure what I was doing, but I did this in school, but I personally don't really like how this turned out. I think it's a bit too dark here, and the tail, the hand, it's just a bit messy. I think the face is quite good in the hand. So everything you're seeing here is a collection from the last 2 or 3 years, and only for the last, I'd say, 1 year is preparation for my scholarship. So this piece here is probably one of my favourite in the whole portfolio. In the portfolio. I really like the colours, the pink, the bright green, the red, and I like the sort of sun thing and the spiral. And this piece here was just for a bit of fun with my mum. She wrote this, but the interviewer didn't know that. When I went for the scholarship interview, I was quite lucky, because I think it looked quite good. And yes, my name is Oscar. Wow. With a K, German. Thank you very much. So this one is probably one of my favourite pages in the whole art portfolio. So I went to Paris with my cousin in October of 2019, and we did a kind of spray painting course. So here we were practicing for what to put onto the wall. So your stage is step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, 5, 6. And I really like this kind of progression, like the eyes. And then over on this side we have the finished of what we did here, up there. And then me actually spraying it onto the wall. So here's the beginning again, and there's the very end. As with you could see me, that's me there spraying onto the wall. So that's a progression. If some of you are trying to do a portfolio, one thing I'd recommend is, I think the interviewer really liked the kind of progression, kind of style with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm showing like how I did it, what I used, not only just seeing the final pieces. So now we're kind of moving towards the end of the portfolio, but don't worry, there is more. But then, as most of you would know, I do like Queen. So here I tried a album cover on this side here, and then on this side here, this is a picture of Freddie Mercury. Lots of people don't see it at the very beginning, but then if I say here's the hair, here's, I think that's an eye, there, and this is the nose, the yellow jacket that he wears, then people start to see it. So this was a trip that I did with my school in year 6, making a pinhole camera. So that's kind of showing that I'm interested in art and that I'm going to places to do art. And I think the interviewer also quite liked that for my scholarship. So this here on this side, the blue, this is cyanotype photogram. Sorry, I can't move the camera, but here's a cyanotype photogram where we put a liquid onto a page and then plants or leaves or whatever, and then if you leave it in the sun, then everything goes blue. But because of the plants, there remains the page white, and then inside we would kind of colour in and do some signs. I kind of zoom in a bit, you can see some designs there that I've done. So now moving on. So now we move on to photography. So on this side here we have photography of some rocks that I quite like. It didn't take very long photography, I like it, it's just a snap and you've got it, but it does take quite long to kind of think about what you're doing and find what you want. And then this is a bicycle wheel on this side. Yeah, I just kind of like how the spikes go out. Oh, sorry. And then on this side here, in the stones, is a bird head. Head of a bird. That we did at the beach, and this is me him sitting on the mountains. That's me there in that white hoodie. So then, here is another photograph, which I actually quite like because if you can see, there's a splash of water. There's a splash of water there, which I really like. But then what I like about it so much is down here, I've got all the photos for the process of how I got to choose this one. So for example, here my foot was in the shot, or there wasn't enough water, there was too much rocks in the background, there wasn't enough splash. And yeah, I think the interviews quite like that, you know, showing the process again. And then on here we have another rock and the same kind of process of how I chose this picture to be my final one. So here we have on this side a picture outside the Tate Modern where someone was blowing bubbles, and I quite like the shape of the bubbles. And then again, I've showed my process of how I chose this one, and same with this side, I've shown how I chose this one up here, showing like there's not enough bubbles here, or too much sky, or not enough building, or I'm in the shaft, or something like that. this is an O for Oscar, but OskASMR. But it's kind of illusion with the black and white stripes. And yeah, you could probably see the O. But then under this is pictures of all the things I like. So I like animals, so I've got a giraffe, trees, dog, anything really. Man City, quite like football. So I quite like this piece as well, but not as much as that one. But yeah, so we shall move on to this one. So this is a nearly finished stencil that I've been doing. Stencil that I was doing of the one and only Freddie Mercury. Sorry about that. So this is the one and only Freddie Mercury stencil of him. This is still a work in progress, but I quite like it. But then on the other side here I have on the other side we have a vinyl record. Sorry. Oh, damn it. It's alright. But on the other side we have a vinyl record with a picture of Freddie Mercury. I really like this actually, because, you know, I'm into vinyl. It's a circle. My favourite shape is a circle. O for Oscar. Circles are kind of like an O. But then Freddie Mercury in the middle fits perfectly within the circle. So that, I really like that actually. It's quite creative as well, because I don't think anyone really would have thought of doing that. Anyway, and it's quite personal because, you know, I like Queen and I like vinyls. Don't worry, this wasn't an album. This was a really cheap single of The Great Pretender by Freddie Mercury. Anyway, next up we have a canvas of a piece by Mr. David Hockney. I don't know what it's called actually, but this took so long to do the tree. I think it turned out okay. The original is there. So that's the original. That's what I did. My mum says she prefers mine, but you know, you can never be sure. But that's that. I quite like that one. But because it took so long, it's not my favourite. Anyway, this is a piece that I did at the school I was going for an art scholarship for. They wanted to kind of analyse how we did our art or something, so this was similar to the Cyanotype photogram, and we kind of coloured that in. Anyway, here we have a Day of the Dead piece with a skull and kind of patterns all around. I don't like this piece so much. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about it. I don't like it that much. Next we have a few more illusions. So this is kind of stairs going into nothing and a hole, big square hole. Some more illusions. This is the impossible triangle down here and the impossible star. And then a bit more photography. We have another bicycle wheel and a picture of a crab that I found on the beach. Sadly it was dead. Yep, sorry. A bridge. I actually quite like